right, I hear you. Let's see what I can do.
Limp Knight!
Salutations. 'Tis I, King Bartholomew Edmund Grimsleydale the 18th. I hereby decree that all knights return to the capital city of Nightingale for a grand celebration.
Limp Knight, I'm illiterate. What does this say?
It says the war's finally over. We can go home. Wait, how are we to return?
With our legs, silly.
Oh, damn.
My bad, Limp Knight.
Not even an arrow in the knee is enough to stop me.
Thank you, Limp Knight. I must be off. Oh, by the way, I saw a cool-looking stick up ahead.
Dearest William, our son Jeremy turns 3 today. I cannot wait for you to meet him.
Cannon Knight!
Shoot me, Limp Knight!
What?
It's not that far now. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever Bad Ideas Direct. I'm here to make so many announcements that a direct was the only way I could think to do it. So stay tuned to the end for a ton of cool stuff coming very soon. What you just saw was the first game from Bad Ideas Productions. That's right, the first. Technically, it's the second, but we'll get to that later in this video. I've teased this a lot on Rumble Pack, but I'm so excited to officially announce Limp Knight. This is the secret project that I've been working on all year, and it's been a ton of fun. Now, what is Limp Knight? To answer that question, here's the full Limp Knight team with just that.
Hello everyone, I'm Mary, I'm the producer for the game, and I also do programming.
Hi, hello, I'm Alex. I'm the level designer for Limp Knight.
My name is Annalie Dorzinski, and I am the 3D artist for Limp Knight.
My name is Lon. My role on the team is I'm a 2D artist, do miscellaneous 2D assets for Limp Knight.
You already know who I am, but as for my involvement in this project, I'm the game's writer, director, and sound designer.
I was brought onto the team because of my skills in 3D art and character design, and after reading the narrative for this game, I just knew I had to be a part of it.
I handle, honestly, the boring stuff for the project. I have a lot of programming experience from like the 30 games I've built within my life. I'm pretty heavily equipped to deal with the type of games that Johnny wants to make, which is like a narrative experience for Limp Knight.
I'm really good friends with Mary, and I got to know about the project through her. Through that, I just kind of started working on the 2D assets and helping out with the project.
I was brought to the team mostly by Johnny dragging me along, but also by seeing the people working on this with their shared vision. And I wanted to be able to share in that vision. And I just thought that was really cool.
I met Johnny in a devising theater class in college, and we were tasked for our first assignment to make the desert with nothing but just using our bodies, and we've been friends since that project.
I first met Johnny during college. We did a comedy club together, but then one day, a couple months ago, he grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and he said, "You're gonna make a game for me now." And I said, "Okay, Johnny, I'm gonna make a game for you now."
I wanted to make this game for 2 reasons. First, I'm known for my bad game ideas, and I've always wanted the chance to make them. I originally went to school for game design, but I switched my major like 3 times. But the second reason was to help out a friend that needed work. The games industry is cutthroat, so I asked my friend and now roommate Mary if she wanted to work for me instead.
Limp Knight started because I was facing homelessness. I had a lot of family issues happen, you know.
Mary and I had known each other for most of my time at college, but we were always too busy with our own projects to really hang out much until like the end of last year, and we slowly realized we needed to work on something together.
We started watching videos together and eating Taco Bell together. And then I was like, dude, I am screwed. I am like applying this stuff. I'm not getting jobs. Like I'm probably gonna have to drop out and stuff like that. And Johnny was like, bad studio idea. Hear me out. What if we started the studio idea that we had joked around now? And I'm like, okay, Sure, whatever.
This team has been slowly building over time along with the scope and vibe of the game. Mary's on 3 other game projects right now, so what originally started out as the 2 of us slowly snowballed into a full-on production. And you're probably not gonna believe this based on how the game looks now, but Limp Knight started out as a take on Iron Lung. Like, it was a space game.
If I remember correctly, it was a sci-fi game where you were sending signals over to Earth and getting them back, and they were taking a while to show up. It kind of happened because I was like, that's an interesting concept that is easier for us to produce, but we need to change up the style, we need to change the writing, and then we kind of figured out this idea of like, move it to a fantasy setting, and they're letters, and the letters take a while, and you're like limping home. And then we were like, walking simulator? Screw that, we don't need a walking simulator, we got a limping simulator. That's when we really realized that this was a game that we needed to make.
I would describe Limp Knight as a very unique, powerful narrative. It's just this very large world, very large vision.
The title of Limp Knight alone really describes the game perfectly. You're a knight who was shot in the knee, and you have to slowly limp your way all the way back to the kingdom you were sent out to defend.
In very unga bunga term, it would be a walking simulator, except your legs are broken.
So many characters with just so much depth to them.
This is a pretty funny game. You collect sticks, walking sticks, but some walking sticks are pretty funny walking sticks.
You collect new sticks, you meet new knights along the way, all while slowly making your way back to that kingdom.
I think it's even better than Undertale. I think we could be the next Undertale.
My favorite part of developing the game, making very textured 2D assets for the game.
I think my favorite part of working on Limp Knight so far has been finding all the little stories I can tell. The big overarching plot is Limp Knight's journey, but there's a lot of other things that are happening in this world that can be told through just the placement, arrangement of things in the environment. And it's been really fun trying to find all the different ways that I can do that.
My favorite part of development so far has been coming up with new designs for all of the fun knights that Jonny comes up with. Some of them have been a bit of a challenge, but it's been fun nonetheless, and I can't wait for you all to see the designs, and I hope you love them all as much as I do.
I also really like the team meetings too, because, I don't know, it's just good vibes.
What's your favorite part of working on the game?
I like our meetings. Sorry, that makes this sound so like hellish. I like being able to work with people of different skill sets. Working with Jonny is really nice because of that, because Jonny has a lot of different skill sets to the area of game development. But game development is hard. It's a headache.
I think one of my favorite parts has been going like, hey, I have an idea for this, and you going,
I go no.
you go no, and then me going, okay, I have a kind of like, it might be hard, and you're like, that's like
easy.
That's the easiest thing I've ever seen.
And it's so funny, just like showing and teaching Jonny like all the little funny parts of game development. Because the stuff that you think is like the easiest parts of game development is the hardest parts, and the hardest parts of game development are the easiest parts.
I've had so much fun working on this project. My job has basically been writing the whole narrative, and I'm a comedian at heart, so I think the game is going to make for some great laughs. I've also been learning music production and learning the actual process of how a game is made, which has been such a fun journey, and seeing it all come together is something else.
We're really excited to show you what we have planned for Limp Knight and like the full game once it's done. But it's gonna take a while. So our team hopes that you give us the grace that we need to make this game really good.
So if any of that sounds cool to you, please drop the game a wish list on Steam right now. This game is a Hail Mary play to help all these talented people get their voices out there. And even if you don't plan on buying the game, a wish list goes a long way in Steam's algorithm to just push this game out to more and more people. Thanks, guys. Thank you again to all the developers who've been helping this project move along. Genuinely, these people are some of the most talented artists and developers I've met, so please go to Steam and wishlist Limp Knight right now. The game will be released in spring of 2026 for $5. We wanted to make it affordable for you guys, but that means we're gonna need a lot of support to make this studio feasible. So please wishlist and share the game, and be there when it releases next spring. Oh, but what's that? You don't want to wait till next year? All right, heard.
Tired of your boring life, scrolling away on a machine all day? Hello, it's me, the Salesman, here to tell you about the latest new invention from the Chromatic Corporation. It's a video game featuring me, the Salesman. It's named after me, the Salesman. Experience the thrills of unemployment and job hunting. Collect medical bills, make ramen noodles, and meet me, the Salesman. That's right.
Listen to me. I don't have much time. Do not hide from the salesman. He's all I see. Everywhere I go, he's like an infection.
Sorry about that. Seems like a disgruntled former employee hijacked our airwaves. So get the salesman today!
That's right. Not only are we working on Limp Knight, we're also working on a psychological horror game. The Salesman is the second game being developed by my new game studio, Bad Ideas Productions, but it'll be the first game released. So not only am I just making games, I plan on making quite a few of them. The Salesman is a horror game about unemployment, and I've been having so much fun with it. The game will be releasing next week, and just like Limp Knight, it'll be $5. We wanted to have it come out when I dropped this video as like a crazy marketing stunt, but we found out last minute that your Steam store needs to be up for at least 2 weeks before you can actually release a game. And then it took Steam another 5 days to release our store, so we had to push the game back again. Hi, editing Johnny here. I'm gonna be dubbing over every time I say November 4th in this video with November 13th. November 13th is the release date. I wanted to clarify that. I had to take this video down and re-upload it for this reason, so we appreciate your patience. And if you want to see more games like this, Wishlist The Salesman and grab it when it comes out on November 13th. But to tell you a little bit more, here's the team behind The Salesman.
Hey guys, it's me again, Mary, the producer for The Salesman.
Hi, I'm James. I've essentially been the solo developer for this game, so I've been doing all the 3D art, the game design, and then programming on it. Johnny doing all of the voice lines and ads. I've been just cooking.
For The Salesman, I again was the game's director. I did all the writing, voice acting, and sound design, and I made all the ads that appear in the game.
Initially, I was making another game called Echoes in the Mist for Backstab Industries, which is essentially my indie studio. And then I just sat down at Johnny's place, and they're like, man, we really want a horror game out by Halloween. That'd be so cool. And I was like, hey man, if you could pay me 2 months rent, I'd do it. And then Johnny just kind of went, yeah, I can do that. So now I'm here.
This is a very interesting project because horror is something I haven't really done before. Of all the genres, horror is one of the easier ones to develop for, and with Limp Knight taking a while, I wanted us to be able to do something cool. So Mary and I pitched the game to James in a Red Robin. I wish I was kidding. You were working at Amazon.
I was. Amazon plus game dev is terrible because Amazon delivery is a 10-hour shift where you're on your feet all day, you're going really hard, and then I'd come home, pass out, and then the next day off, I would be immediately cooking on game dev, which is just terrible. It was terrible for my mental health. So being able to quit that and do this, while it's a different type of stressful, it means that I feel a lot better in my day-to-day than working in the wage cage.
This game's Ryan kind of comes from Johnny hearing a lot of his friends complain about not being able to eat, not being able to get a job, working like minimum wage and barely surviving. It's taken from a lot of the grievances with the current economic state of the world.
This game is the situation that created it. The Salesman is pretty much about James quitting Amazon to do this. As the game's writer, I wanted to make a story that was really close to home. So we came up with the idea of this salesman figure that slowly fills your house with adware, and the more ads of him there are, the more powerful he becomes.
The Salesman is a corporate horror game that kind of takes in a lot of the horror of modern day life and how like ads and the capitalist hellscape that we live in is kind of inescapable at this point, and turns that dial to 100 and is basically personified in this game. We
wanted to give this game a level of charm, so I made a ton of ads that play throughout the game, all featuring the salesman. I gave the salesman that charm of like a 1950s CEO, like your Walt Disneys, who have a big cult of personality, mixed with like a used car salesman, and added just a touch of analog horror to make it special.
That face of the salesman that you're seeing right now is me. I chose a day that I got no sleep, I was stressed the out, and I just took off my glasses, stared in my mirror for 10 minutes and just went, okay, make the smile worse. Make it worse. Make it worse. Take off the glasses. And I just went, that's the face. That's exactly what I wanted. And that's how the salesman has his face. It is just me with one exception. I don't have hair. So I had to paint hairline onto this guy.
You unbalded yourself.
I unbalded myself.
This was definitely a learning experience for both of us. I really took on a lot of the sound design role. I made some atmospheric tension building tracks, which I'm a big fan of. Did a bunch of sound effects, did all the voice acting, audio editing. There's a crazy amount of work that goes into a project like this, and it was really cool to handle all of that while also letting James cook on the actual implementation of everything.
I mostly took this on as kind of a learning experience. I did graduate with a game design degree. I really wanted to learn more about 3D art and like making a game by myself because I was always made it with people. So being able to learn everything there is to know about game design for this game has been really fun, especially just like making little interactables was an absolute treat. Also, your ads cook. Like, your ads are really good.
I think it's a really cool process that we were able to do. Last question. Why are you bald? Why are you bald?
Look, man, it's better to be bald than balding. I'm 23, by the way.
You can wishlist The Salesman and Limp Knight today on Steam. Again, The Salesman drops November 13th, which means it comes out before Toon Turf. So mark your calendar and save $5 from that next corporate paycheck. But speaking of Toon Turf, I got permission from Dano, the show's creator, to make an official Toon Turf announcement and show one final clip of the pilot before it releases. This is the last look of Toon Turf that you will get before the first episode comes out. I'm going to be voicing the character Dolph Dolphin in the upcoming pilot, and Dano has provided me with an exclusive sneak peek for you to see my voice acting in action. Roll the clip.
Hey, watch where...
That's it? Understandably, the man has been doing his best to get the pilot done. Genuinely, from what I've seen, this show is going to be amazing. And in special news, I will not just be playing one character in the pilot, but a second as well. See if you can spot it when Toon Turf releases before the end of the year. Dano has confirmed for real that the show will be finished and released before 2026. And to tell you a little bit more, here's Dano. Yeah, I get it, man. Seriously, this man has been grinding for an entire year to get this pilot out. Most animated series have teams of people, multiple artists, background designers, animators, writers, storyboard artists. Dano is doing all of that alone, which is an insane accomplishment. And it's all gonna be worth it, so show the guys some love and stay tuned for Toon Turf. This brings us to our fourth announcement of the day. Not only am I making a game studio for making games in-house, I'm also unveiling Bad Ideas Publishing. If you remember a year or two ago, I made a short promoting the Kickstarter for a game that a few of my friends from Scuffed Animals were working on called Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword. And I'm pleased to announce that Bad Ideas Productions will be publishing the game when it releases this spring. And to tell you a little bit more about Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword, here are the game's developers.
Hello, it's me again, your favorite producer, here producing another game. Save me.
I'm Twig. I'm the lead programmer on Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword.
I'm Dario Alvarado Ramos. I'm the environment artist on Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword.
Hi, I'm Mana. I'm the art lead on Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword, which means I did a lot of the art direction. I also do animations, character design, character art, and I also have a little bit of a role in the game design as well as narrative design of the game.
I put the whole history of the game. The game Music Jam prototype, which is the very, very first prototype of the game, was made all the way back in November of 2021.
Well, it started out as a game jam game called Sword of the Morel, but it was buggy and messy and it was unpolished, as game jam games tend to be, but people loved it. People loved the mechanic, people loved the characters, and we ended up winning the game jam.
During my time on the project, we have won multiple awards every few months and have gone to a bunch of competitions in order to spread our spores and build community.
I would describe Mushroom Kid as a physics-based precision platformer where you play as Micah, little mushroom. that was a weird bird, and their quest to save their village with a sword that grows. And this sword gets real big, and you can use it to climb up on things.
I like to describe it as getting over it without the parts that make you want to scream.
The game is a nice little platformer similar to games like Getting Over It and Deepest Sword, but a lot easier to approach and with more content than Deepest Sword, plus a little sprinkle of good humor and art.
Mushroom Kid has basically been developed mostly because we keep making the game and we make the little parts of it, and then people are like, this is so good, you need to make this a full game. And then we get further along to that, we make a demo, and we're like, I don't know if we can keep doing this. Let's make like a Kickstarter to see if people really want that. And we get just enough to get the game. We use a bunch of Kickstarter money to get us through to make a lot of the game. We are so close to getting that full release done of the game. We are just out of Kickstarter money and also in college and also working, and we want this game to be that full release product that we set in motion.
The Kickstarter was quite something. We would be checking in on the Kickstarter daily and sending each other messages every few days about crossing certain milestones like 1K raise, 3K raised, and so on.
We hit our stretch goal. It was a little bit stressful, but it was really inspiring seeing so many people rally behind the game. And even if we didn't hit our stretch goals, I would call just building that bit of community one of the biggest successes we could have possibly achieved.
Shout out to the Kickstarter backers who got us that first $15,000 to like develop this game out. I'm sorry it's not sooner. We just want it to be really good.
How's Bad Ideas helping the game? Well, I'm pretty sure Jonny said he was paying us an exposure.
One of the hardest things about indie game development is marketing. If nobody knows about your game, then nobody's gonna play it, even if it's like the coolest game ever.
Marketing for an indie studio is very difficult, and so we're really happy to be partnering with Bad Ideas.
And before we get more eyes on the game, yes, we know that the game is similar to Deepest Sword. We have spoken to the developers of Deepest Sword. They actually helped us put our sword mechanic together. This was the most commented thing the first time Jonny made a video about the game. I promise you, we are aware.
What is my favorite thing about Mushroom Kid? As the art lead, I have to say it's the aesthetics. Everything is natural. It's in a natural environment, and because it's pixel art, it makes it a little bit difficult because there's not a lot of right angles in nature. Except for that, tree.
My favorite thing about the game is the funny little humor and the guy who is allergic to conversations. We talk all the time.
As cliche as it is, my favorite part about Mushroom Kid is the big grass sword. As the person who worked on it, that thing is my baby. It's made me lose as much sleep as a real life baby would, but it is such a fun mechanic to use for traversal, especially when that thing starts getting longer.
It's a lot of fun. I hope you guys like it.
Thank you again to the Mushroom Kid team. Remember to wishlist all the games we've announced today and show them some love. With this studio, we're genuinely throwing everything at the wall. We have a horror game, a limping simulator, and a physics-based platformer, which by the way, I did some beta testing for way back, and the movement rips. This brings us to our next announcement of the day. You thought I was done? We're just getting started. It's the return of Bad Ideas merch. I launched my merch store about 2 years ago and subsequently took it down because I felt that while I really liked the look of my merch, I didn't really like plugging it in my shorts, and it felt like it didn't make much sense. But with Limp Knight, The Salesman, and Mushroom Kid all in development, I thought now would be a good time to bring it back as a way to help fund this studio. We have a new and improved website at badideasproductions.com, so if you want to buy any of the Bad Ideas merch you missed out on from our first drop, along with merch from Limp Knight, The Salesman, and Mushroom Kid's Big Grass Sword, now you can. Please play the games before buying merch for them, but with this studio, we genuinely need all the help we can get, and if the merch sells well, we can fund more projects and bring more developers in to make even cooler projects. I also have stickers with some of my John Tober drawings if you're interested in that. All of the merch is print on demand, so I can basically just throw whatever designs I want on there. So over the next few months, I'll be adding more fun references to the channel and more cool designs from all of our games. But speaking of the channel, this brings us to the 6th announcement of the day. The Jonny RaZeR channel is going to be going through a couple stylistic changes. I've been making shorts for over 3 years now, and it feels like the style of my shorts hasn't changed all that much. There's also a lot of series that have been in limbo, like Bill and Cletus and Johnny's Quest, and I've been thinking about the content I make, the content I want to make, and all the projects I've started and stopped for various reasons. So what I'll be doing in the coming months is introducing the Jonny RaZeR Cinematic Universe. This is just a silly name for a new style of shorts I want to try out that's different than anything I'm really seeing on YouTube. I want my shorts to feel more like a show, so in addition to the normal shorts that I make, I'm not stopping my normal shorts, I'll be combining everything I loved about Shorts Wars, Bill and Cletus, and Johnny's Quest into a new narrative narrative series that will be taking place over the course of my shorts. It's not related to Shorts Wars, that story is over, but it's something similar that I think you'll like even more. And now, here's Bundun with a special announcement. Take it away, Bundun.
Okay, I know a lot of my friends are doing some really cool things, okay? I'm also doing cool things, and I'm gonna introduce that. And I know this is a bit of a surprise to some of you guys, but I'm making the coolest, biggest, most epic game ever, which is really not that cool, and it's more to answer a dumb little content question. But I think it was cool to announce on the Johnny's thing, so here it is. Welcome to Just Flip Bro! All it is a Roblox game where you have to guess if it's gonna be heads or tails. Now watch this be heads. Now watch this be heads. Now watch this be heads again. Watch this be heads. Watch this be heads again. 2 in a row. Boom! That's it. You're trying to guess heads or tails as many times as you can correctly in a row. And what I'm doing on my channel is whoever, by the end of the week, check my channel if that short's come out yet or not, I don't know. Whoever's at the top of this leaderboard, who's guessed heads or tails correctly as many times in a row as possible, the most, I'm going to give them 100,000 Robux. That was it. It is a dumb stream idea. Literally, there's nothing else in the game. You just guess. Watch this. Let's watch my streak end though, quick. Ready? Heads. Born on a tail. Okay, wait, I'm actually cooking. Tails. Heads. 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 Oh. Okay, yeah, that's the game. Yo, thank you, Johnny. Love you guys. All my other friends have way cooler projects than this, but this is what I'm doing. Just Flip Bro. If you search it up like this, you go into Roblox and you type in Just Flip Bro. It's not out yet recording this video, but you do that, it will come up. Like, search it like that with the quotations. Just Flip Bro. Just Flip Bro. Just Flip Bro. Nintendo Direct!
Thank you, Bundun. Very cool. Moving on to my next announcement. This is something I've also wanted to do for a very long time, and seeing as a general theme of my content is encouraging people to make stuff, I'm here to announce the first ever Bad Ideas Game Jam. That's right. We're putting together a game jam that has 2 goals. 1, to get creative people doing creative stuff, and 2, to get those creative people published. One of the best things that a game developer can have on their resume is a game that's been published to Steam. So I had a bad idea. If we were to host a game jam, we could compile all of the submissions into a playable game browser that we could release on Steam for free. So not only will you make a cool game for the game jam, but you'll be able to have that game publicly available and released on Steam, giving you a lot of extra eyes, giving players a better chance to see your stuff, and giving me another UFO 50 for free. The top 3 games will also have the option to be published by Bad Ideas or receive prize money to help fund a longer development cycle. It'll be held in March of 2026 and be a month-long jam, so get your teams together and start coming up with bad game ideas. Another thing that'll make this game jam unique is that along with each submission, you'll need to make your very own bad game idea short that will implement in a shorts feed in-game. So if you see a game idea that sounds cool, you can click from the short in-game and play it right then and there. And more info on the game jam will be released in the coming months. Now you might be wondering, where can I meet and find people that I want to do this game jam with? In the official Bad Ideas Productions Discord, of course. I'm getting rid of my old Discord and making a new one that's focused more on the company. I'm not super active on Discord, so I want to start fresh with a more Bad Ideas focused server that I can still run events in from time to time. So for the rest of the month, anyone participating in Johntober, instead of posting to Twitter, can also post their daily submissions in the Johntober section of the Discord. That brings us to the final announcement of the day. I know it's been a crazy ride. 3 games, Toon Turf, new merch, new content, new Discord, a game jam. It's a lot. So this final announcement is going to be something more mysterious, something to keep you on edge. There is a 4th game beginning development by Bad Ideas. I'm not going to reveal any details about the game other than the fact that it's in early development and we have a release window of summer 2026. There's no Steam page up for it. There's nowhere you can find info on it. So the only thing I will give you is a screenshot of the game. It's zoomed in a lot. Try and figure out what it is. But thank you guys so much for listening to me yap about all the things I've been working on. Going from bad idea videos to making these into actual games that you can play is a dream come true for me. But I gotta be honest, this is a huge gamble for me. I have been spending a lot of money making this studio work. So if you like what you see, if you think it's cool, check out Bad Ideas Productions on Steam, Wishlist Limp Knight, Wishlist The Salesman, Wishlist Mushroom Kids Big Grass Sword. Even if you don't plan on playing the games, throwing each game a wishlist list helps us out in the Steam algorithm, so Steam can push our games to people who haven't heard of me or Bad Ideas. And when our games come out and you play them, please leave a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what we can improve on, because with each game, we're learning so much that's going to help the next game. Working on The Salesman, we already learned so many things that we want to add for a sequel, but we need the game well to be able to fund a sequel. Otherwise, James has to go back to Amazon. So please check out The Salesman on November 13th and keep your eye on my channel for more updates on these 3 games and any other Bad Ideas productions. If you play our games and you want to support us even further, you can go to badideasproductions.com to pick up some merch from your favorite games. But this concludes the first ever Bad Ideas Direct. Please share this video with your friends to get the word about our studio out there. You don't understand how desperate I am to make this work. Making games is so cool, but making shorts and making games at the same time is extremely stressful. And if our games sell well, I can invest more time in the actual game production. I can be more involved in the projects, and we can make better stuff for you guys to enjoy. I appreciate you all so much, and I will see you guys on YouTube.